Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Joseph's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today it's Monday and it's January the 10th, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to extend to you a warm welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. You know, I always say the tide changes so very frequently here on these YouTube streets, so you need to always acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. And our story today takes us back to the city of Fayetteville here in North Carolina. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, Off-duty deputy shoots and kills black pedestrian. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. This incident took place on the afternoon of January the 8th, and it's the second incident of its kind in 6 days. We had one on the 2nd, and this one is on the 8th. And already this murder case appears to be trending, with accusations of false narratives being perpetuated, as well as the perception of a cover-up by the local police department in an attempt to shed doubt on the accounts as verbalized by eyewitnesses. And the protests have already started. So let me share with you what has been reported. And I'd like to encourage you to stick with me until the end, because I want to share with you my perspective on what has taken place so far. So let me begin with an identification of the victim. He's 37-year-old Jason Walker, a resident of the city and a single father of a young son. We don't know much about him right now, but I'm sure that will change within the next few days. Mr. Walker was shot and killed on the streets of Fayetteville, and to date there has been conflicting reports as to what took place that afternoon. Now, I want to begin with this social media post because I think it's very, very important. We are connected by Watch Out Cumberland County, North Carolina. Anytime there's an accident, they send out notices via social media so we know ahead of time what's going on and what street to avoid. And I want to share this with you from the evening of January the 8th. It said that on January the 8th at 2:15, near 2:15, a shooting alarm was reported on Bingham Drive and Shenandoah Drive. Investigations say an adult male was struck by a truck and then shot by the driver, who called 911. The victim was pronounced deceased on scene and identified as Jason Walker, 37. The investigation is now being handled by the Fayetteville Police Homicide Unit. And a few hours later, we began to see a different version coming across the television and in the newspaper. And it says, man who jumped onto moving pickup truck is shot dead by driver in Fayetteville, police say. And we say, that don't make sense. How in the heck this man who jumped on top of a moving truck? Unless he's crazy, this don't make sense. And it's around that time we then found out that the person who did the shooting was somehow related to the police department. Now, this has dominated social media ever since it took place, and I want to share with you the accounts as posted by the family, and they said this is what was reported to them by eyewitnesses to the incident. It stated that Jason was struck by a truck driven by an unnamed sheriff, and it appears that when he was hit, he fell upon the front of the car. And the vehicle that struck Jason was driven by an unnamed off-duty sheriff. Witnesses stated that Jason then tried to get up and continued to walk across the street, and that's when the sheriff got out of the red pickup, fired 4 shots from his handgun. The off-duty sheriff claimed that Jason jumped on the hood of his truck and that he was protecting his family. This was the first version of an event posted by the local news and on social media. And again, I'm still reading what the family has posted. But there were multiple witnesses on the scene. Witnesses driving behind the off-duty sheriff had seen the entire event unfold. The pair of witnesses driving behind the off-duty sheriff described the scene as pure evil. They stated that Jason got hit by the truck, was tossed up on the hood. They also said when Jason tried to get up, the off-duty sheriff got out and shot Jason in the back 2 to 4 times, killing him in cold blood. The witnesses also stated they were told to leave the scene and that he was a sheriff. The witnesses refused and began recording and rendering first aid to Jason without the help of the police. They said the sheriff or the off-duty sheriff did not attempt to render aid at all. And when the police arrived, he could be heard providing an inaccurate version of what took place to the officers that showed up. Now, there's a video of what took place right after the incident, because according to the family and the eyewitnesses, when they were being instructed to leave and they chose not to leave, they went ahead and they started administering first aid. That woman in that black shirt, she was the one you could be seen on that video administering first aid, and it was her husband who shot the video. And the person who shot him, yes, it is true what they're saying. He did not go over there and render aid. He was on his phone, and then he was talking to the police. But this woman here should be credited for getting over there and providing aid to that fallen victim until EMS arrived. And throughout the day on Sunday, the narrative being shared on social media was that the police was not being truthful about what actually happened, that they were covering up one of their own, and the people were crying out for justice for Jason Walker. You could tell people were angry, and there were statements made that this murder would not be covered up. The name of the deputy shooting Mr. Walker was never disclosed, but his picture is all over the place, and they were demanding transparency from the police chief. And after a march downtown that ended at the police station, the police chief and the district attorney held a joint press conference. The police chief talked about the SBI, the State Bureau of Investigation, taking over the case, and the Attorney General spoke about turning over jurisdiction to the North Carolina Conference of Attorney General. But beyond that, the comments made by the chief of police sort of left me feeling that the truth would never be told. She said there was no major impact with anything on the truck, so Walker was never hit by the truck. And she also said that the windshield wiper of the truck was broken off from the truck, and the metal part of it was used to damage the windshield. And I sat there and I simply scratched my head. All while the truck was moving, this man jumped on the hood of the truck, broke off the windshield, and smashed the windshield. He broke off the windshield wiper and he smashed the windshield all while the truck was moving. And you know what they say, if it's too much to believe, it's probably not true. And at that point, I simply said, this is going to be a cover-up. Would have been better if she had not said anything at all. Now, the chief did say that she had not seen the tape that's been going around, or videotape that's been going around social media. That's the videotape of what happened right after the victim was shot. You know, I don't believe her. Because why would you rush to do a press conference and you know these are the things that people are talking about and you haven't even looked at the information? No, I don't think. We don't believe that at all. But I want to return to the comments from the main eyewitness at the scene and to this woman here in black. She was the one who rendered aid to the dying man. She said the victim was simply trying to get home. He was simply trying to cross the street. And after he was struck, he tried to get up and walk. And that's when the deputy or the off-duty deputy got out, fired 4 shots as he was walking across the street now, striking him in his back. I saw where a news source is talking about a confrontation. My response is, where did that come from? Something new being introduced. There was no confrontation. And so Fayetteville, North Carolina is in the spotlight once more, and all for the wrong reasons. Another unarmed African-American man has gone down, and the facts surrounding the murder are still being discussed, debated, and challenged. And I assure you it's going to be that way for quite some time. I wonder if the mayor plans to make a statement on what position he's going to take. We'll just have to wait and see. I have to tell you, I was a bit disappointed with the press conference held by the chief of police, and it's good that she is not going to be involved in the investigation, but that doesn't mean the path of the investigation won't carry her influence. I believe this was simply an accident and the driver lost his temper. That's what I think. It was just an accident and the driver lost his temper. But there's much more to follow on this case, and I'll be sure to keep you informed. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on this notification bell right here, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.